Hi there, I'm Mike Sanu, and I'm going to be walking you through the first chapter of Digital Asset Management. Before we get started though, we're going to take a look at a few things. For starters, our learning objectives. We want to learn what assets are in Liferay DXP, something we're going to be talking a lot about. We're going to understand how to organize those large groups of assets. Since Livingston is such a large-scale organization, there's going to be a lot of assets over time, so we want to learn how to organize those, keep them all in the right places. To do this, we're going to be setting up folders, and we're also going to be deciding who has access and the correct permissions for each folder. And we're also going to be deciding who has access to assets and folders alike. We'll understand how to connect to external repositories from within Liferay itself. Some tasks to accomplish by the time we get through all of this. We want to learn how to add multiple assets to the platform. It's going to be documents and web content. We're going to be talking about what the differences are between those. We're also going to be learning how to organize assets using metadata. And we have some new tools that make tagging a lot easier. We'll also be using categories as well, and we'll be talking about what that process looks like as a whole. We're going to create folders for our assets, add folder restrictions for types, and we'll also put workflows on folders as well. Ultimately, we want to make sure that all the correct people have correct access, so we're going to take care of that with permissions. Like our other courses, we do have exercises for you to follow along with, so it's important that you have Java JDK installed to run Liferay. If you don't, you can go ahead and download from these links here. We're also going to be using our module exercises. Those are going to have all the different elements that we're going to be using for our different assets. You want Liferay DXP or CE 7.2 up and running. And you're going to want the Livingston Fjord Theme War. It's going to be located in your module exercise folder. You're going to want that uploaded and installed from the app manager in the control panel. So since this is module 2, we have some leftover exercise things from module 1 in case you're going out of order or you're just visiting this module first. Previously, we'll have set up the hotel landing page, so you're going to want to set up that LAR file and put it into the global site, as well as the asset publisher page as well, and you can find both of these in your module exercise folders. You'll also want to set up the luxury hotel location site template. You want to add that to your Liferay instance from the control panel, which is in sites, and then site templates. If you need to get this set up, you can use the prereq imports folder, and that's going to be in the module exercises folder as well. And then last but not least, you're going to want to have the Livingston Hotels and Resorts structure up and running. We're going to be doing a lot of our work in that. You also have some structures that we're going to be using a lot if you don't already have them ready to go. It's going to be the Livingston Hotels and Resorts, Livingston Loop, and then Livingston Life. All right, now that all that's out of the way, we can finally begin. What are assets? So in Liferay DXP, the term asset is very broad. It's basically a catch-all phrase for any content that you can interact with or view within a site. This is everything from web content, documents and media, blogs, wikis, message boards, forms, polls, and bookmarks. There's other more complex examples as well, but you already see that there's a wide range of functionality, and all of this is offered within Liferay DXP. So Liferay uses a very robust asset framework in order to keep all of your organization looking clean. So we have a folder system. We can also be assigning them with metadata. So you have information about each of your assets that's just automatically taken care of. You can view properties, other details. We can also have assets being assigned in relation to one another. If you create a blog post and you also are uploading images that are similar, you can make it so that these assets are related to one another. Make it easier for your team in case you are going through content, you're trying to make new content or call back old articles or call back old assets. It makes it easier for you on your end. We also have the ability for commenting, replying, rating, and flagging different materials, and you also get notifications whenever these things are happening as well. And finally, what is arguably the most important thing for organization is having administrator control permissions, making sure that people are only seeing what they need to see, only editing what they're able to edit, and having access where they need to have access, and nothing more than that. In Liferay DXP 7.2, we have a few different options for building out our site pages. The first is by using page fragments. These are editable bits of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript that can be used to build out content pages. And the nice thing about this is when you're editing them, you can actually just click in and you can just make the changes. You don't have to do any heavy coding. Then on the other hand, we have widget pages. These are a little more customizable. For content pages made of page fragments, you're really just going to be editing the content in. For widget pages, you're actually going to be dragging and dropping different widgets onto a page layout of columns and rows. So if you're like me and you want to make some content pages, you're probably interested in saying, okay, well, how do I get started with page fragments? We have a few different ways of doing this. You'll have the actual fragment editor in which we can go in and create them within Liferay. We also have the way to import HTML, CSS, and JavaScript into the platform. We can save completed sections of a page as a fragment to be reused in the future. And then the way that we are saving and keeping all of these fragments organized is by having them as a part of a collection. And so we want to be intentional about how we're keeping fragments together within Liferay. And we're going to go over that together in the exercises as well. Very helpful things for organization. We have our document types and we have metadata. Very powerful tools for providing organization are document types and metadata. So what document types are is they're templates all ready to go with metadata fields in them. So this is really helpful when, say, we have many PDFs. Some of them are marketing related with more content that needs to face viewers. Others could be financial documents that we just want to use internally. Well, we can create different document types that will help organize those PDFs and by saying what sort of information is in there and making sure that it's easy for us to search and find what we need and make sure that things are in the right place. If you form good habits around making document types and providing the correct metadata, you'll have a lot better content organization and search engine optimization as well. Finally, we have metadata sets, which can be used to add common metadata across multiple document types. All right, so we're at our knowledge check here. If you want to take a second to pause the video and look over these answers or fill them in on your own, feel free. If not, let's go ahead and go over these answers together. So assets are all the different content types in a site. It's the main thing, that broad term for all of our content. The asset framework allows users to manage, organize, and present content effectively. Page fragments are what we use to build content pages. And users can also create document types, which are groups of metadata that improve document organization and SEO. Thanks for joining me in this video. That wraps up our lesson.